Hello everyone, this is MJPWGaming and welcome back. Today we are going to be discussing the things that I expect from a brand new zombies map. So, let's get right into it. So the first thing that I really expect out of a brand new zombies map is going to be new weapons. And when I say new weapons, I don't necessarily mean like new wonder weapons, but that is going to lead into our next topic. But I do like to see the new weapons. With the course of Black Ops 3, they had a lot of good types of weapons, as in like throwback weapons like the PPSH or the M1927, as well as the introduction of the supply drop weapons like the Marshals, the FFAR, and so on and so forth. And so with each map, they really did really well with Black Ops 3, and so far with Infinite Warfare, they're doing even better because each of the brand new weapons that we've gotten in the supply drops, we've gotten them into the box the same day that they came into the supply drops on all of the maps. So that is really, really good, and I applaud what they are doing at Infinity Ward. And so like I was saying, I also like to see some sort of new wonder weapon. Every single zombie map has to have some sort of new type of main cool weaponry. It's like the main thing that everybody looks forward to, like, ooh, I wonder what the new wonder weapon is going to be for this new map. A lot of the times, at least here lately within like Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare, we've had multiple like wonder weapons, so I guess it makes all of the players feel like included and not left out. Like, let's say one person gets like a super powerful weapon, but the other 3 players can't get it. Well, that's why they do the 4 types of wonder weapons, and that's okay, but then again, it comes down to the fact everybody fights for the favorite out of the 4, or something in those lines. So, and then there's maps where it has the 4 types of wonder weapons, as well as a special other wonder weapon that's like in the mystery box. That is also highly acceptable because one person can go and do their favorite bow or whatever and get what they specifically really want out of the box. So it's a win-win situation if you're playing 2-player. Next up on my list of things I expect, a new perk. And I say this very lightly, and I don't know how well this will go. In Black Ops 3, I'm going to use this as an example, as well as go back to Black Ops 2. Black Ops 3, we didn't have that many of new perks. In fact, the only new perk we had with Black Ops 3 was Widow's Wine. However, we had gumballs as well as plenty of other introductions of brand new gumballs. And then in Black Ops 2, like I was saying, this is going to be another example of why it could be a bad thing if we had a new perk every game. Some work out better than others, but some just don't fit well. In Transit, we had Tombstone, and with Tombstone, you're gonna have to run all the way back to wherever that part of the map was in your co-op game, and you're gonna be spawning on the other player that's in the game, and if he's not anywhere near that that area where you went down, you're gonna have to like book it all the way there, or either tell them in advance to go to that area so you can spawn in and get your weapons. In Die Rise, we had Who's Who, which was almost useless if you couldn't clutch it, in which a lot of the times you couldn't, because if you finally went down, you're not gonna revive yourself because like you're just gonna be overflowed with zombies. In Mob of the Dead, that was a good perk because Electric Cherry, it stayed in all the way through Black Ops 3 and is also a new perk in Infinite Warfare. Electric Cherry somewhat proves at least it's useful. It's a little bit more useful than going and reviving yourself and somehow trying to clutch it. In Buried, Vulture Aid, it was pretty good if you wanted to get a little bit more extra ammo and a little bit more points and just a little bit of time away from the zombies. It's okay with that, but it's just like a whole bunch of like ideas thrown together into this one thing. And then I guess that's kind of where they ran off with Origins, and they just made the Wonder Fizz, where it's the mystery box of perks. And going back to where before Raven the Redwoods had came out for Infinite Warfare, everybody was really expecting a brand new perk to come into this, and even Lee Ross was promoting something as a new perk that's going to be in this, but what it ended up being was like charms that give you extra abilities, not necessarily a perk, and to this day I've really never used the charms at all, and I just like to have something like that's guaranteed, like the perks. And you could say the charms are guaranteed, but I want to know what I'm eating before I start eating it, I guess. I don't know. Next up, we're going to be talking about traps. Traps has always been in zombies since World at War, and everybody loves the traps. Some traps are really, really unique to different maps, and it's really cool to see how, like, they improve and get even better the next maps. Traps go through fire, electricity, or even a log swinging back and forth and coming to kill you as well as the other zombies. Shaolin Shuffle is also going to be delivering some brand new ones, which is like a, I don't know what they're called. I think it's like a Zumba? I'm probably saying it wrong. It's like a little vacuum looking thing that goes around and cleans the floor, but it's got blades on top of it. That's pretty cool. That's a nice little trap. But that's one of the things that kind of people really expect to see in traps and stuff in new zombie maps, and to see how the traps are improved and how they're added on. In Exo Zombies, when we had the gator trap, that was something that never, like, nobody expected that, and I didn't see it happening either. It was just something really cool, and it was neat. It was unique. It's unique to that map. Now, I don't necessarily like this one because, I don't know, new bosses. People always expect to see some sort of new boss for the map, and there's always been a new boss in the map since, I want to say, Black Ops 1? I think that's when we started getting bosses every different thing. I mean, technically, we can go back to World at War and with the dogs, but really, the sort of increase on different bosses started in Black Ops 1 with, like, the Nova Crawlers, George Romero, the Moon Boss, the Napalm, the Shrieker. You know, the list goes on, but people's always expecting some sort of new boss. With Raven the Redwoods, we had the Slasher, we had the Big Slasher, we had the Sasquatch, and then we've also had, like, the mini round bosses, which is just like the Lumberjacks. And then we've had the police officers that was in Spaceland. We had the Brute, of course, can't forget about the Brute. And I'm guessing that those mini bosses for Shaolin Shuffle is also going to be the rollerblading zombies. And then we're also going to have those kung fu weird looking guys that's I assume is going to be like our clown round and stuff, you know. But yeah, everybody expects some sort of new boss for every single map now. And the very last thing, this is something that is very, very important, especially for the people that really want to survive a lot longer. And if any developers happen to watch this, this is like a key thing that's in my book. I love to have bigger open areas, like specifically on Raven the Redwoods. This is why I play this map so much, and it's why I love it so much. The island where you go and pack a punch, you can just train that whole area and go back and forth in between the rocks and stuff, or completely around the whole circle. Training in a huge sort of open, more open area is awesome, and Spaceland did this as well. The whole middle main section, you can train that whole area and around, and there's stuff in the middle of your gap just to keep the zombies away from you. They did this perfectly with that. I'm going to use something against an example. I guess that's how I would say it. Shadows of Evil was one of the hardest maps, in my opinion, especially at launch of Black Ops 3, because it's very more cramped, I guess is a good way to put it. There's not a whole lot of training spots at all in this whole thing. Like, you have to really find some good spots. A lot of the times, I just go into, like, the Pack-a-Punch room and find a corner, a nice little corner to stay in, or really you would just have to train the entire whole map, because I just spend the whole game of that just running around the entire map trying to stay alive. But what I really expect from a brand new zombies map is a open sort of area. The whole map doesn't have to be open specifically, but if it has that one area for the solo players that love to go for rounds and go for the higher ranks and whatever like I do, like that's a key thing, you know? Anyways, this is my list. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like and possibly subscribe for more zombies content. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.